One of the first upgrades we're going to do on the Jeep here is we're going to do an upgrade to the ignition system. I'm going to install a set of Blue Streak high performance race wires on the Jeep here. So if we open up the kit here, see first off we've got our set of wires which are all going to be cut to length. And we're going to go through the process of matching them up with the original ones that are on the engine and cutting them to length if desired, terminating the wire, putting the proper terminals on it, and then the sleeves and installing them on the vehicle. Now this comes with all kinds of goodies. We got a sleeve here that will help protect it from heat, as well as some fiberglass socks which will go over the ends here. Additional heat protection. In the package we've got several different varieties of terminals, so we can terminate it up at the distributor cap, or if you're using a DIS system, there's also application for that. There's high temp silicone tape to hold the sleeves on in place. We've even got some wire loom holders here, which we'll use to clip the wires in place so they're not bouncing on the headers. We've got little numbering sleeves, so as we're putting these together, and we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 on this side of the engine here, we can put the numbers on, keep them straight. And we've also got a handy little tool here which you can use with your bench vise in order to crimp those new ends on. So let's move over to the bench and we'll take a look at matching these up and assembling a wire, and then we'll install them on the Jeep. Some of the key takeaways here on these Blue Streak racing performance wires, which are actually the same ones used by winning and award-winning engine builders and stock car racing teams, these are 9mm 15 ohm racing wire. This really means that you're going to get hotter spark to the plug, less resistance in the circuitry here. These also have a high heat 600 degree Fahrenheit boots on them. These come straight, 90 degree or 135 degree bendable. And to get up to 1200 degree Fahrenheit protection, we can put these protective socks on them as well. These also include a spiral wound copper ferromag core with stainless terminals. See some of those terminals here. What this means is these are going to be compatible with your computer systems and electronics on some of your newer vehicles. You know, a lot of guys with LS vehicles and electronic fuel injection like to put these systems on there. You're not going to get the interference from the ignition system by using these wires. All right, that's enough about the features and benefits. Let's get down to putting on the terminals and getting these plug wires on the Jeep. All right, so I've gone ahead and removed the number 8 plug wire off the engine already. And so what I'm going to do, I've got all my other plug wires here, and I'm going to match it up, line up the boots, the spark plug ends, and then I'm going to check it for length. And what do you know, I've got another wire here that's really the same length. So that means I don't have to do any additional cutting. So now I'll pull that aside and I'm going to go ahead and install my new terminal and put the protective sleeve on, and just like that I've got my number 8 plug wire built. Well, now I've got my plug wire selected. I've also got my protective sleeve here, and I'm going to kind of match it up for length. That doesn't have to necessarily be exact because I'm going to put the protective end over the boot, but I'm going to kind of mark it off here. I'll set the plug wire off to the side. I'm just going to take cutting pliers or sharp scissors and simply cut this to length. And the next thing I'm going to do is slide this end over the plug wire. It's going to give us just that extra added level of protection here. If we've got it, why not use it? So, as you can see, we've got it over the wire now. Now we're going to go ahead and slide the boot on and we'll terminate this. We'll put some tape over this to hold it in place, and just like that, we've got a plug wire built. So now we've got our protective sleeve on. There's also some silicone tape that came with it, and so we're going to cut that to length and tape the sleeve in place. But that's relatively self-explanatory. One thing I'm going to do also is take my numbers or markers here, and I'm going to slide those over. So I'll put one all the way down at the plug end, and we'll keep another one up here towards the distributor end so we can tell. And we'll use a little bit of heat shrink later on and that'll hold that in place. So now I've got my 90-degree boot in place and also my terminal, which I'm going to crimp on. So first thing I'm going to do is take just a little bit of dielectric grease here, and I'm going to kind of lubricate this up. And now I'm going to slide on the wire. So now you can see I've slid the boot on a little bit more than I need to, and you'll notice that the actual core of the wire, there's some left over here. If you actually are going to trim your wire, you notice the little tool that came with, the idea is you slide the wire in here and then you cut using this holder, and then you'll trim off the additional insulation, and you need to leave part of the actual core of the wire in place. So now I'm going to fold it over, and I'll take my proper terminal, and this is where you'd have this tool, put it in your bench vise and clamp it down to actually pinch this over. I'm going to use a little different method. I happen to have a set of pliers here which are going to allow me to actually crimp these together instead. It's up to you. Sometimes it's easier to use the actual tool. I just prefer to use the pliers. And now you can see it's got that core tucked behind here, and I've done a nice cross crimp in here. Again, if I wanted to use the tool, it would do the same thing for me. It would pinch in there and put this crimp on there and hold it in place. So I might actually hit this one more time, make sure it's all nice, good and compressed. Once I feel comfortable with it, now I can take my boot and I'll slide it back over and cover up this terminal. So we've got our end over, got the terminal inside there, and so now I'm going to take my little propane torch or heat gun. I'm going to shrink this on here. I'll put the tape on both ends, and then I'm going to slide the high temp sock over the end, enough so it exposes here, and we're ready to install this thing on the vehicle. Then I'm going to repeat that process all the way around the engine and do number 6, 4, 2. On the other side we'll go 1, 3, 5, 7 and complete the job. So as you can see, I've got the silicone tape on here. I've heat shrunk my number on the end. I put the protective sock on this end here. I can slide it up so I can see my number there if I need to yet. But again, by doing this method here and doing one at a time, you really have no confusion installing it on the vehicle, and it keeps it straightforward. You match them one for one as you're building it. So I'm going to actually install this one on the vehicle. I'm going to pull off number 6 plug wire and build it, and we'll work our way around the vehicle, and let's pick up when we're ready to fire the vehicle up. Well, there, now we've got all the wires on. You can see them in place here. Again, these are bendable boots, so I could twist them to the angle in which I need them. I put my my holders in place so it's not going to bounce around and hit the headers here, which we're going to be doing some replacement, put some shinier headers on here. I want to make note I put on new spark plugs at the same time as well. It's a good idea to always do these things in pairs. Replace the wire, replace the spark plug. You're replacing the spark plug, good idea to do the wires at the same time. So I've got everything installed here. We just got to put our sticker on. Maybe this will be a good spot to put it. And first off, let's fire this thing up, make sure I did the job right. All right, must have done something right. Sounds like we're hitting on all 8 cylinders, no backfires, no misfires there. So hopefully now you understand what it takes to build and install these Blue Streak Performance race wires. For more information, check them out at bluestreakwire.com.